I get about 19 inches now. So to go from 17.5 all the way to 19 inches in a few years, it's showing that I've been making some micro gains. Now, after all this time, the vegan guy, still making some gains. For training programs, meal plans, and coaching, make sure you check out Khpfitness and training.com. What's going on, my fitness seekers all over the world? Khp Fitness here with another video for you. And I know, man, it's about that time I started talking about the gains I was making. I made a clip, or should I say a short, where I was talking about the progress that I made. And the last time I measured myself after a good pump, which I've never achieved before, was I was measuring at 19-inch arms. Now, when I'm cold, it's about 18 and some change, but it's still good. It still shows that after all this time, even getting close to what I would consider like genetic potential, I'm still able to make some gains, man. And that's an awesome thing to know as a natural. Talking about cats like Alpha Destiny and all them, how they always talk about it as well. We're not as close to our genetic potential as we think. And when you stall out, you don't think that's the case. You think that, yeah, well, maybe you just got better genetics than me, and maybe I'm just stalled out. But what I actually learned is that there are some changes that can be made that will make this happen. And I'm going to give you little details on how you can probably maybe not get 19-inch arms. I'm not going to guarantee that. I'm not Hulk Hogan. I'm not going to tell you that eat your vitamins, guys, and say your prayers, and you too can have 22-inch arms. No, I'm going to tell you some truth, man. I'm going to tell you how I did it. I'm going to tell you how I worked my genetics to do it, and we're going to go with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate the short that I did, do a little reaction to my own reaction. I know, it's a mess, I know. But you'll see where I'm going with it. Trust me. Without further ado, let's get into it. It's very important to document your progress. And it is, people. It's very important to document your progress. And this is something I stopped doing for a little bit. I stopped really checking my measurements. I stopped jumping on the scale for a little bit. And because I was basically eating a lot of the same. But you know, what happens is even with us who've been doing it for 15 plus years like I've had, slowly start going to the path of least resistance. That's why it's so important to keep a documentation of your progress, no matter how small, because where are you going to go from there if you don't have that? That's one of my biggest things, my biggest tropes that I give to clients is that you have to stay with your documentation. If you don't track on how you're eating, if you're just going out to these restaurants, stuff like that, you're never going to get the full aspect of what's happening. Very important. I took a quick picture after a good workout and saw like, maybe I am getting a little size on these arms. I saw some gains and I was like, okay, let me go ahead and measure this out. And that's when I measured and saw that with a little pump there, I was almost pretty close to those 19. That was back in 2001. It was like 18.5, maybe some change on that. But you don't, when you're genetically gifted in like the biceps and stuff, you don't really pay as much attention as someone who's like competing and everything. Then they're really looking at it because it's meticulous at that point. But me, I do it for the health aspect and to look good naked. It's important for me. It's important to me. Keep a healthy heart. That's why I get my cardio through boxing and a little bit of jogging here and there. But I'm really big about just keeping a look as I age so I can age gracefully. And I wanted to show you back in 2001, I took a picture actually measuring out my biceps. Now, typically they usually sit around 17.5 inches when I'm just flexing the arm. So right there, I've measured the arms typically at 17.5 with the right, maybe 17.2, 17.3 with the left. And then I was able to actually measure them and find out that I was getting 18 inches. So I was curious and I was like, how would that look with a pump? So recently, I noticed without a pump, I'm getting about 18 inches. I get about 19 inches now. So to go from 17.5 all the way to 19 inches in a few years, it's showing that I've been making some micro gains. Sure enough, when I did that, I went ahead and seen some gains. It was definitely showing that I was making some micro gains, man. And it's important for me. It's important to know that even though as I'm 39 and I'm going up, and a lot of people told me, once you start hitting that like 32, 35, you're going to start sloping down, man. The gains are going to go out the window. But it's good to see that I'm still making gains. And I actually have a longer video talking about this too that I'll be putting out in probably a week or so about the more HIIT training as well. But this is without even attempting the hit at this point in time while filming this. I was definitely, and for those who don't know, there's high intensity training. So I was definitely just going through the motion and challenging myself per usual with these bands. And as it felt easier, I would go up each set until I got to a point where it was pretty damn close to failure, if not more. This is without up and down in my weight. I've actually maintained my weight between 5 to 10 pounds. That's a big part there. I actually maintain my weight between 5 to 10 pounds now. So the notion that you have to do super bulks, nonsense. You just have to keep it consistent, as I always say. Keep it consistent, as I always say. That's the biggest part, man. It's just consistently going, micro gains over time. When you've been at this as long as we have to have something to reach to. If we don't see any progress at all, if we're not getting stronger, then a lot of people start to get mundane with it. I do it for the health. That's the biggest thing. My why is the health aspect of it. So I never had to go on any super bulks or anything. Just like Greg Doucette would say, I would main gain through, keep a body fat percentage. I would say as lean as I am currently, I may be touching. He says if you're whatever body fat percentage you think you are, you're probably 5 up on it. So a lot of people think I'm like 10. So let's say I'm at 15% body fat. Let's say that. I don't think I'm any heavier than that because I'm so lean in the areas. Could be not. But at the end of the day, I stay pretty lean. Even now, even without really flexing, you can see I stay pretty lean, arms and stuff, everything. Like you can see it throughout the arms and such. Like I stay pretty lean. So I never really have to track like that. I just like how I look in the mirror. That's the biggest tracker you're going to get is your mirror. And the best part is I did this with band training, and it shows that muscle responds the same to weights or bands. And that is the biggest part. I did this with the one thing that people said I could not do it with, and that was the band training. As a 7-year vegan, 4 years band, I'm still making these gains, and I've been able to manipulate it, making it work how I need it to work to keep building this muscle and keep the frame that I want to have. And that's it, guys. I hope this video was good for you. It's just a quick recap with a short to assist me when it comes down to show you guys how I put a little bit more on these arms, man. Genetics, like I said, that's 50% of it, but then it comes down to how hard you push, man. Like, comment, subscribe, check out my notifications, everything, man. I've got a couple of shorts coming, but I like making more long form content. And it doesn't seem like much, but all the help you guys do with viewing this video, sharing it to your friends, buying training programs, meal plans and all that, that keeps me going, keeps me moving the way I want to. That's how you can support this channel, man. I appreciate you guys and everything you do. I ain't too proud to beg, huh? And at the end of it all, like I always say to you guys, it's not where you train, it's how you train. See you in the next one.